Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, welcome. Have a look around. My name's Andrea and I love the Pilates method of exercise. I've got some exercise videos, some workouts, some tutorials, and if there's anything that you do not see a video on that you would like to see, please do leave me a comment. I do take requests. And if you've been to my channel before, thank you so much for returning. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for possibly becoming a subscriber. And thank you for tuning in today. So today I have another installation of the Struggle is Real series with my Los Angeles-based colleague, Lesley Logan of Profitable Pilates. And today we're going to look at the struggle that is associated with the long stretch series on the reformer. And not just the long stretch. That's a big personal struggle for me, I have to say, but so goes the long stretch, so goes the rest of the series. So I would say that my assistance today and helping with the struggle of the long stretch is going to help all of the exercises in the long stretch series. The long stretch, the down stretch, the up stretch, the elephant, also the elephant with one leg. Sometimes the one leg elephant is replaced by an exercise called the arabesque, and also the long back stretch. And now we'll take a look at what the exercises, what I am talking about, starting with the long stretch. So this is my reformer. This is the Contrology reformer, which is produced by Balanced Body. This is the Jay Grimes edition, which is 80 inches. And I'm just going to set it up for the long stretch series. I've got 2 springs. My foot bar is up. I need a pad on the headpiece. And another thing I'll say about this series, especially when you're looking at clients, to teach clients how to do this series, a lot can be said for perfecting the way in which they enter the exercise, the way they get onto the reformer. And in my understanding, Joe Pilates was very, very unforgiving about how you started and how you finished the exercise. It was said that you could make a mistake in the middle and that was no big deal, but if you didn't start properly or finish properly, that was a big problem. And I believe that if you enter the exercise properly, you need a certain amount of strength and control and balance to do that, and that's just going to set you up for success in the exercise. So sometimes, depending on who I'm teaching, if they get on in a kind of noisy, somewhat sloppy sort of way, that sometimes is the exercise, them getting on in a precise way without the carriage moving. So let's just talk about that for a moment. So entering the long stretch. And in a lot of exercises that you're probably familiar with, we get on in a kind of one hand, one foot, other hand, other foot kind of way. And generally, as we enter the reformer, I'm going to make a blanket statement and say that we always keep the carriage still and quiet when we get on. There might be some notable exceptions, but that's my blanket statement that I'm going to start with. So for the long stretch series, I'm going to place one hand on the foot bar. I'm going to use my leg. It's going to be straight and it's going to go exactly where it needs to go. I'm using my stomach to hold the carriage still as I put my other hand and my other foot in place. So there's my position. And then no matter who you are, once you hold onto this foot bar, it's easy to want to push with it. So you're going to try to find everything else to push. Your back, your lower body, and you're going to resist the carriage and pull the stomach in. And I'm going to do it again. And I'll do one more. And then let's go to the down stretch. And then I'll change to the up stretch. And then I'll change to the elephant. I'm going to do the one leg elephant. And then I'm going to step off and do the long back stretch. step off with control. Okay, whew. Even in just like a bolt out of nowhere, not in all the reformer exercises that I do, whew, that's a challenging series. Okay, so the main point of this series, this is really the first time that we are in a series where the only thing that gets to touch the reformer is the feet and the hands. Every series that precedes this, you get to touch a lot more things. You're much more supported by the apparatus. And then later on, we'll look at some other series late in the reform order where that is also the case. Think snake twist. So already this is quite an advancement, right? We're suspending our body weight over the carriage. We're not sitting, we're not kneeling, we're not lying down, we're not lying on our stomachs. And I find, I always say Pilates gives you a lot of information about your body, and the information it gives me is that all the positions that are like a plank or where you're just kind of in space with nothing to kind of give you any clue as to what shape your body is making, those are really hard to figure out what you're doing, or for me to figure out what I'm doing. What do I use to move the carriage in that supported position? And this is also the first series in our reformer order where it's primarily the moving part, the part that's moving the apparatus, the carriage, is the lower body. We had a lot of other series, well, we had our footwork to start with, where the lower body was the main mover of the apparatus. Then we had our rowing series, the next big series. That is a really, the lower body is working, but it's really an exploration of the upper body and all of that working, that back connection. And then we get to our long stretch series. We have the long box in there as well, which is still a further exploration of ways in which to use the upper body connection. We have the pull and the tee, we have the backstroke, the teaser. Now granted, everything else is working too, but it's really another kind of continuation of the rowing series with regard to finding the connection of the upper body into the back. So now we're focusing on the lower body moving the carriage. And I find it challenging because I tend to use my upper body for everything. And so once I have my hands on that foot bar, that's what I want to push to do the exercises. But if I can use everything but that, you know, the whole long piece of steel that is my back to my toes, to the ball of my foot, that's what's really pushing the carriage out. And I really like to get the feeling of what the long stretch should feel like to do properly by looking at the next exercise, which has the same feature, but I feel like it's much more tangible in a lot of ways for me. And that is the down stretch. So let's look at the down stretch for a little bit of help with the with all of them, with the long stretch. Okay, so the down stretch, you know, it's a big breathing exercise. And the down stretch, you really can feel the opposing forces kind of anchoring themselves so that you can really explore moving the carriage with one end, and then you'll kind of set that up like a little seesaw during the exercise. So here's our position, and I'm going to really use my lift to defy the carriage moving out. And now I'm going to use my anchor of my lower body so that my lift has something to fight against. And so now I'm going to try that in the long stretch. And actually, I'll step off so I can get on properly. Yeah, in this series I feel like it's a little harder to feel the sides resisting one another. But give that a try, because I feel like it's super tangible to feel the carriage held out with the down stretch and really working to bring it in. And the same thing with the elephant and with the up stretch. And I would say the best things that can help you with your long stretch series are working it often, sometimes you can get out of pushing with your arms if you go to one spring. I did that for a while actually, and it really makes you not able, nor makes it not necessary to move the carriage by pushing with your arms, because you'll feel, if you do this series on one spring, once you step off after all of those exercises, all 5 or 6 exercises, it will feel like not fun, but everything, all of this will be on fire after you do it. So you'll kind of feel like, well, that wasn't fun, but clearly it made my stomach work. So let's look at that. I'll show you. You can probably tell the difference as soon as I've got one spring on. So be careful, because it's also really easy to push out too far on one spring. So be judicious. Maybe I'll just do 2. Then I'm going to go to the down stretch. Sometimes this one needs 2. This is a little too light on 1. But you don't need your arms. It's a little noisy on one spring. Whew. Okay, that was safety first time. It feels like this is really on fire. So give that a try. Do be careful. Mind your down stretch for the way to approach the long stretch. And keep doing all of your tall back positions everywhere in the studio, on the high chair, lying down on the mat, everything to give you a sense of what that tall shape is. And thank you so much. Know that I struggle with you on this one. The struggle is uber real, and thank you so much for watching. If you're not a subscriber and you'd like to be, please do click the red icon that says subscribe. That'll produce a bell icon. You'll click that and you'll receive email notification every time I publish a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I could not do it without you guys. Bye!